Dragon Emperor Sun Chapter 371 to Chapter 380. I don't care about the others, but I, Qi Fengtang, will definitely take action against the Wei family property. To tell you the truth, now I have obtained the 2 real estate companies of the Wei family. Qi Feng smiled coldly. Qi Feng, you are too deceiving. After Zhang Zhengzhong heard this, he slapped the table suddenly, his eyes full of killing intent. What, do you want to fight? Qi Feng did not show weakness. At this moment, the 2 people were drawn to each other, and none of the dozens of martial Dao families below said a word, just watched silently. All right, all right. Wu Liuyi stood up and said in a roundabout way, according to the rules, Qi Feng is right, but the relationship between the Wei family and the Zhang family is indeed different. You all give in and let the Zhang family take over the Wei family. Give up half of the industry, so won't it work? Impossible. Zhang Zhengzhong immediately retorted, Wei family industry, I will not sell a cent, whoever eats it will spit it out for me. Zhang Zhenzhong's body is full of killing intent, he will not give up any part of the Wei family's property, because he still has to use the Wei family's property to collect the money to buy medicinal materials for Suanya Valley. Seeing that Zhang Zhengzhong would not give up a single point, Wu Liuyi was immediately embarrassed. Usually, if there is any disagreement in the martial arts alliance, he, a good old man, will make peace among them, but this time, it seems that it is not easy to make peace. Old rules, see the real chapter in the ring. Fists are better than mouths. After Sun Yaobang, who had not spoken, got up and finished speaking, he walked directly outside the venue. Okay, see you in the ring in 3 days. Sun Yaobang's words hit Zhang Zhenzhong's arms, so he left after saying a word coldly. See you in the arena, I'll see you in the arena, my mother is still afraid of you, won't you? Qi Feng had no fear, and left with a cold snort. In the end, only Wu Liuyi was left. After sighing helplessly, he waved his hand to everyone in the audience, the meeting is over, it's all over. The Martial Arts Alliance conference broke up unhappily, and only opened for less than 10 minutes. Although many martial arts families were dissatisfied, they did not dare to say anything. After all, their strength is not as good as others, so they can only bear it. 2 days later, Gulinger's home. David was sitting at the dining table, and Gulinger had already cooked a table of meals. Gulinger did not let David go out these 2 days, for fear that the Zhang family would get into trouble, but unexpectedly, the Zhang family seemed to take David out of the house. Ping to forget, there is no action. After Gulinger was done, just as he was about to sit down to eat, the doorbell rang suddenly. Gulinger's body was obviously slightly shaken, and it seemed that she still had lingering fears that the Zhang family sent someone to arrest her that night. I'll open the door. Seeing that Gulinger's face was not good looking, David got up and said. Don't move, I'll go. Gulinger asked David to sit down, and then went to open the door cautiously. When the door opened, Gulinger was stunned for a moment, and then said with a look of surprise, Sonia? How did you come to the provincial capital? At this moment, it was Sonia who was standing outside the door, with some fruit in her hand. I'm a little worried about David, so come and see. Sonia smiled slightly. Sonia. When David heard the voice, he got up and ran to the door excitedly. When he saw Sonia's figure, David's heart was full of emotion. David. Sonia jumped directly into David's arms. In the past few days, Sonia has been worried in Horrendal. After all, the provincial capital is not like Horrendal. Here, there are hidden dragons and crouching tigers, and there are many dangers. Seeing Sonia and David like that, Gulinger stepped aside in a bit of a loss. It's so fragrant, is it Linger's cooking? Sonia smelled the aroma of the food, glanced at the food on the table and said. Well, Linger's craftsmanship is good, and she's been eating her cooking for the past 2 days. David nodded and said. When Gulinger heard this, Her face suddenly panicked, and she hurriedly explained to Sonia, "Sonia, I was afraid that the Zhang family would find David in trouble, so I let David live with me temporarily, but he always lived on the sofa." Seeing that Gu Linger was a little flustered, Sonia smiled slightly, "Linger, you don't need to explain, I believe you." Sonia's words made Gu Linger feel ashamed. "Did you come this far by yourself? How dangerous is it?" David asked Sonia. "Lin Tianhu sent me here. He went to park and came up immediately." After Sonia finished speaking, Lin Tianhu had already come up. "Mr. Chen." After Lin Tianhu saw David, he respectfully shouted. "How is it? Is your body okay?" David asked with concern. "It's okay, I feel better than I started." Lin Tianhu laughed. "Come on, let's eat together, I've done a lot today." Gu Linger greeted Sonia and Lin Tianhu to eat together. After eating, Gu Linger and Sonia went shopping. After all, shopping is girls' favorite. David took Lin Tianhu to Chifengtang. Since they were all his servants, David felt that Lin Tianhu and Chifeng should get to know each other. "Palace Master, you said that Chifeng Hall is also the entrance of our Taipei Hall." On the way, Lin Tianhu asked David in surprise. "Yes, that Chifeng recognized my heavenly dragon ring at a glance." David nodded. "I didn't expect that the largest gang in the provincial capital turned out to be our own people. This time the palace master will not have to be afraid of anything in the provincial capital." Lin Tianhu's face was full of shock. After arriving at Chifeng Hall, Chifeng heard that David was coming, and hurried to meet him in person. Seeing Lin Tianhu beside David, Chifeng was stunned for a moment, but quickly reacted, smiled at Lin Tianhu, nodded, and said hello. And Lin Tianhu was stunned when he saw Chifeng, especially the slight smile. "Hello, my name is Chifeng." Chifeng extended her hand generously. On the other hand, Lin Tianhu's face flushed, and he shook hands with Chifeng in a panic. "My name is Lin Tianhu. Master Tiger's name is like thunder, and the underground emperor of Horindal is indeed well deserved." Chifeng praised Lin Tianhu. "Ashamed, ashamed." Although Lin Tianhu is a big man, in terms of strength and power, he is too far behind Chifeng. After a few greetings, Chifeng invited David and Lin Tianhu to a secret room. "Palace Master, I have something to ask you about. Tomorrow, the Martial Arts Alliance will hold a ring competition. Since the Zhang family is always targeting the sect master, I want to kill Zhang Zhengzhong in the ring competition." Chifeng said to David. "Are you sure?" David asked. "Yes." Chifeng nodded firmly. "Actually, my strength has long since stepped into the ranks of Niajing masters. The reason why I have hidden my strength over the years is to surprise me." "Yes." David nodded and said, "Can I go see this ring match?" "Of course it is, the hall master and I will go together tomorrow." Chifeng said. After staying in Chifengtang for an hour, David left with Lin Tianhu. "Lin Tianhu, how about Chifeng?" On the way back, David suddenly smiled. "Ah, it's good, the person is beautiful, and the strength is strong." Lin Tianhu drove the car and said instinctively. "Then there is a chance, I will match you too." David actually found out just now that Lin Tianhu always secretly looked at Chifeng, with admiration in his eyes. Is this inappropriate? After all, the strength of the two of us is too different. Lin Tianhu said with a look of inferiority. "Don't worry about it, leave this to me." After David finished speaking, he leaned on the seat and rested. Jiang's villa. Zhang Zhengzhong was holding a very delicate wooden box and stood respectfully in the room of Master Bohuo. At this moment, Master Bohuo was sitting on the bed, his eyes were slightly closed, his hands were pinching the magic, green flames were floating in the air like ghosts and ghosts. Looking at the scene in front of him, Zhang Zhengzhong was a little stunned. Although he has now reached the strength of the Master of Internal Strength, he can also condense his energy into a knife and pick leaves to hurt people, but this is the first time I have seen such a landscape. Combine! Suddenly, Master Bohuo shouted, and the green flames instantly joined together, followed by a deafening explosion. Bang! The sound was so loud that the glass in the room rattled. But just after the flames exploded and the smoke dissipated, there was a green elixir in Master Bohuo's hand. This is a bursting pill. After you eat it, your strength will double in an instant, but it only has 3 hours. Once the time is over, it will return to its original state. Master Bohuo casually threw the burst pill to Zhang Zhengzhong and said, "Thank you, Master Bohuo, here is 1,000-year-old ginseng, which is specially honored to Master Bohuo." Zhang Zhengzhong put the wooden box in his hand on the table and said, "Yet." Master Bohu nodded, then waved his hand and let Zhang Zhengzhong go out. After Zhang Zhengzhong went out, Master Bohuo's face instantly showed excitement. He jumped out of bed, opened the wooden box, and carefully put the 1,000-year-old ginseng into his pocket. Like this kind of ordinary medicine pill, many magicians can refine it, but many people in the martial arts world do not understand, so they will see them as magical. These things are just like separated mountains. An ordinary bursting pill has been replaced by 1,000-year-old ginseng, and Master Bohuo has long been happy. "Master, you finally found the 1,000-year-old ginseng. Did you just give it away?" The housekeeper, Lao Lu, saw Zhang Zhengzhong walking out of the room of Master Bohuo, and asked in a puzzled way. "Ha ha ha, what do you know?" Zhang Zhengzhong said with the bursting pill, "This pill can instantly double my strength. When I'm in the ring tomorrow, I'll see who is still my opponent. What do you think? Am I in the ring tomorrow just for the Wei family's industry? What I want is the entire martial arts alliance, and I want to be the leader. With this bursting pill, I see who dares not to obey. Master is wise." Butler Lu did not expect that Zhang Zhenzhong's ambition turned out to be the entire martial arts alliance. The next morning, many people rushed to the venue on the outskirts of the provincial capital in advance. In addition to those martial arts families in the martial arts alliance, there were also many business families. Li Xiaoyi was the one with the Dharma Protector Pavilion, and he also mentioned that he had set up guards around to prevent any accidents from happening. Although Li Xiaoyi knew that the martial arts alliance, his guardian pavilion could not get involved at all. Even if the other party had a firefight and wounding incident, their guardian pavilion could only watch, but the responsibility lies. Li Xiaoyi can only lead people to be responsible for the safety of the periphery. David took Sonia and Lin Tianhu, and then followed the people from Chifengtang to the venue. Gulinger is acting with the people of the law enforcement pavilion. After all, she is a detective of the law enforcement pavilion. "Chifeng, fight against that Zhang Zhengzhong, don't be stubborn, kill if you can, if you can't, then retreat, the Zhang family won't be able to jump for a few days." In the car, David exhorted Chifeng. "Don't worry, Mr. Chen, I have confidence." Chifeng smiled slightly. David can also see that Chifeng must have hidden a lot of strength over the years, otherwise he would not have such great confidence. Soon, the car rushed to the periphery of the venue, and many detectives from the law enforcement pavilion stood guard at various intersections, checking every passing vehicle. "David, you have to be careful. There are a lot of people in the Zhang family, all of them are experts." One of them didn't know who was sitting in the car, so he drove in directly. Gulinger came over and warned David. "Got it." David nodded. Gulinger waved his hand, the car was released, David and the others drove into the venue. Entering the venue, there are people from the alliance guarding, but with Chifeng around, they can easily enter. When David and Chifeng got off the car together, they immediately attracted the attention of many people. After all, in today's ring match, the protagonists are Chifeng and Zhang Zhengzhong. People are looking to see who will win in the end. "Master, isn't that person David?" At this time, beside Zhang Zhengzhong, the housekeeper Lu Yi pointed to David beside Chifeng and said. Zhang Zhengzhong frowned, his eyes were full of killing intent. After all, the enemy was in front of him, how could he not be angry? How can this David be with Qi Feng? Zhang Zhenhong's face is full of doubts. The housekeeper Lao Lu also shook his head. He didn't know why David was with Qi Feng. OSH.T. And Zhang Wenjie, who was behind Zhang Zhengzhong, was furious after seeing David actually appear, and rushed out with a quick stride. David, you are so courageous. You dare to come to this place. Today, I will kill you and avenge my sister. Zhang Wenjie angrily came to David and smashed at David with one punch. David didn't dodge or make a move, while Qi Feng, who was beside David, stretched out his hand to grab Zhang Wenjie's wrist, and said with a cold face, Zhang Wenjie, if you touch Mr. Chen, I will make your life worse than death. Qi Feng's voice was bone-chilling, hitting Zhang Wenjie's heart. Compared with Qi Feng, Zhang Wenjie's strength is really not enough. Wenjie, come back! Zhang Zhengzhong shouted at Zhang Wenjie. After Zhang Wenjie snorted coldly, he turned and walked back behind Zhang Zhengzhong. This time, everyone's eyes fell on David. In the past few days, the name David has been heard like thunder among these martial arts families, but many people have never seen it before. Damn it, this is David? He looks very young. How did he destroy the Wei family at such a young age? What's the relationship between this Qi Feng and David? Why is he still protecting him? Isn't it a good friend? SHH, don't talk nonsense, be careful to get into trouble. Didn't you hear that Qi Feng directly call that David Mr. Chen? It seems that this kid has a good background. There's a good show to watch now. It seems that the Zhang family and Qi Fengtang are going to die. Everyone was talking about it, and they were looking forward to the ring competition to be held soon. Qi Feng invited David to the seat. Their seat was just opposite the Zhang family. The Zhang family all looked at David with anger, but David didn't care, but stared at him tightly. Next to Zhang Zhengzhong, there is a man wearing a hat who only looks down to eat and drink. Because the man was wearing a hat and lowered his head just to eat and drink, David couldn't see the face of the man, but he felt the surging of spiritual energy from the man's body. All the people in the martial arts world are surging with energy, and this person has spiritual energy surging, which has to make David pay attention. Could it be that the Zhang family also hired a monk? David frowned slightly, but under David's careful investigation, he found that the aura on that person was very weak, and he didn't look like a cultivator. When you come to power, pay attention to yourself. David warned Qi Feng. Don't worry, Mr. Chen, I'm measured. Qi Feng said confidently. She still didn't know what David meant, but David didn't say it clearly, just paid special attention to the person in Jiang's family. If the other party secretly shot, David would be rude. Thank you all for participating in this ring competition. According to the rules of our martial arts alliance, as long as there is a disagreement and do not accept mediation, it will be resolved with fists in the ring, but fists and feet have no eyes. In the end, no matter who hurts, or even if you lose your life, you are not allowed to complain. This is the rule of the ring. This time, the Zhang family and Qi Fengtang have a disagreement on the issue of the Wei family's property, so now it will be resolved by Zhang Zhengzhong and Qi Feng in the arena. Whoever wins will decide the issue of the Wei family's property, and the two of you will come to power. As a good man of the martial arts alliance, Wu Liuyi announced loudly in the ring. Wait a minute. Just as Wu Liuyi finished speaking, Zhang Zhengzhong jumped straight to the ring. Old Zhang, is there anything else you do? Wu Liuyi asked. Zhang Zhengzhong nodded, then glanced at the crowd lightly, and said with anger, today's ring competition, I am not only for the Wei family's industry, but the martial arts alliance has also been established for more than 10 years, and it has been in a state of leaderless. It is not conducive to the development of our martial arts alliance, so I plan to take advantage of today's opportunity to choose a leader. Zhang is not talented and wants to propose himself the leader of the alliance. If you have different opinions, you can compete with me in the arena. As soon as Zhang Zhenzhong's voice fell, there was an uproar at the scene, and there was a lot of discussions. Zhang Zhengzhong, what do you mean? Hearing this, Sun Yaobang immediately stood up from his seat and asked with a cold expression. Zhang Zhengzhong actually wanted to be the leader of the martial arts alliance. Of course, he would not agree. In that case, what status would their Sun family have in the martial arts alliance? Wu Laihui also changed his face slightly and said with slight anger, Old Zhang, the four of us have managed the martial arts alliance for so many years, and we have been in peace with each other. You suddenly proposed to be the leader of the alliance, don't take it as the leader in the end. Lost it. Zhang Zhengzhong, you have such a big tone, and you don't take a piss and take a look at yourself, so you still want to be the leader of the alliance. Chifeng also jumped up and jumped to the top of the ring, yelling insults at Zhang Zhengzhong. At this time, Zhang Zhengzhong, facing the accusations of the three families, was not afraid, and said with a cold smile, I said, whoever of you has an opinion, you can try it with me in the arena, it's useless to show your skills. What happened to Zhang Zhengzhong today? He even singled out the other three. Isn't this Zhang Zhengzhong a fortuitous encounter? With the current strength of the Zhang family, can they be able to single out the other three? Today is lively, wait for a good show, maybe after today, the martial arts alliance will change. The following people were discussing in a low voice. Zhang Zhengzhong, Sun Yaobang, ask for your strength first. After Sun Yaobang said that, he put on a stance. He originally planned to come here to watch the tiger fight, but he didn't think that Zhang Zhengzhong wanted to take the entire martial arts alliance as his own, and wanted to be the leader of the alliance. Of course, Sun Yaobang would not agree. Sun Yaobang is also a master of internal strength, and his strength should not be underestimated, otherwise, he would not be one of the four top positions in the martial arts alliance. Sun Yaobang, you are not my opponent, so don't ask for trouble. Zhang Zhengzhong glanced at Sun Yaobang coldly and said arrogantly. Sun Yaobang's face was angry, Zhang Zhengzhong, is it your opponent? You can only know after trying it. Do it. As soon as the words fell, Sun Yaobang burst out with overwhelming momentum, and instantly enveloped the entire ring. Old Sun, you have to be careful. Wu Laihui seemed to see something and reminded Sun Yaobang. After speaking, Wu Laihui and Chifeng saw this and walked toward the ring together. Since you insist on trying, then I'll show you my true skills. Zhang Zhengzhong said, his body also burst into a monstrous war. The momentum of the two people was instantly entangled, and the gust of wind swept across the ring, but everyone in the audience felt no pressure at all. Because this arena is specially made, no matter how fierce the aura is, it will not affect the people on the stage. Blast gun! Sun Yaobang shouted loudly, and then his hands shook in the air, and a long spear condensed in his hand. The master of inner strength can condense gas, transform the strength of the body into various weapons, and can control the gas to hurt people. Holding a long spear in his hand, Sun Yaobang drew a few spear flowers in the air, and the spear flowers instantly turned into sharp weapons, rushing towards Zhang Zhengzhong. Master Nei Jin really deserves his reputation, he's simply too powerful. This Sun Yaobang's strength has improved a lot. It seems that he has hidden his strength before. This time, Zhang Zhengzhong is afraid that he will meet his opponent. When everyone in the audience saw this move by Sun Yaobang, they were all shocked and talked a lot. Lin Tianhu, who was beside David, looked even more stunned. His eyes were full of fiery and envy. He, the underground emperor of Horindal, only found out when he arrived here that his strength was a joke to others. The huge gap in strength made Lin Tianhu feel inferior and ashamed. David saw Lin Tianhu's inferiority complex, patted Lin Tianhu's shoulder with a slight smile and said, "Don't worry, your strength will definitely surpass them." Really? Lin Tianhu looked at David with hope in his eyes. Of course, don't you even believe me? I believe, of course I believe it. Lin Tianhu nodded hurriedly. Lin Tianhu has absolute confidence in David's strength, and he also believes that as long as David helps him, his own strength will definitely improve a lot. On the arena at this time, Zhang Zhengzhong faced the rapidly attacking spear flower, snorted coldly, with disdain on his face, stretched out his hand and lightly tapped in the air in front of him, and suddenly he could see circles in the air. Ripples appeared, and when the gun flower touched these ripples, it was instantly defeated and disappeared without a trace. Sun Yaobang's face changed, he didn't expect Zhang Zhengzhong to resolve his move so easily. Blast slash! Sun Yaobang roared, his body jumped high, and the long spear in his hand suddenly transformed into countless spear shadows, directly shrouding Zhang Zhenzhong's whole body. Hey, that's what you can do! Zhang Zhengzhong snorted coldly, and a faint white mist instantly appeared around his body, wrapping his body directly. When the spear in Sun Yaobang's hand touched the layer of fog, it instantly vanished into ashes, and the energy dissipated again. This! Sun Yaobang was shocked, and his body retreated again and again. When everyone saw this scene, they also took a deep breath. They didn't expect Zhang Zhenzhong's strength to become so terrifying. Otherwise, how dare he be the leader of the Martial Arts Alliance? Qifeng frowned slightly when she saw this scene. She didn't expect that Zhang Zhengzhong would keep his strength all the time. Sun Yaobang, now it's my turn. After Zhang Zhengzhong finished speaking, his body instantly transformed into an afterimage, directly in front of Sun Yaobang. Sun Yaobang didn't have time to react, but Zhang Zhengzhong slapped him in the chest, and he spat out blood. Even if Sun Yaobang was defeated, Zhang Zhengzhong didn't seem to let him go. He slapped Sun Yaobang's body with his palms, and Sun Yaobang's body burst into bursts. In the end, the whole person flew out of the ring and fell heavily to the ground. Seeing that Sun Yaobang's whole body was stained with blood, even if he didn't die, the whole person was probably useless. The Sun family hurried forward and carried Sun Yaobang away, each of them showing anger, but the alliance rules, the top of the ring is conceded, even if they kill someone, their Sun family can't do anything. Zhang Zhengzhong, you have already won, why do you still want to do this? Wu Liuyi frowned and asked in dissatisfaction. Those who obey me prosper and those who oppose me perish. Whoever stops me from becoming the leader of the alliance will die. Who else of you dares to come to power? Zhang Zhengzhong glanced at everyone with a grim face, and said madly. In an instant, the audience was silent. With the strength Zhang Zhengzhong showed, who would dare to take the stage? The Zhang family is all excited. Zhang Zhengzhong has become the leader of the Martial Arts Alliance. Then their Zhang family is in the provincial capital, but they are the dominant family. Hey! Wu Liuyi shook his head and returned to his seat to sit down. He knew that he was not Zhang Zhenzhong's opponent, so he could only watch Zhang Zhengzhong rampant in the ring. Zhang Zhengzhong, don't be mad too early. Even if Qifeng jumped, it was like a union gently falling onto the ring. Qifeng, even if you don't come to power, I will kill you. You are against me everywhere, and I will make a break with you today. Zhang Zhengzhong said, the momentum on his body instantly pressed towards Qifeng. Humph! Qifeng snorted coldly, and the petite body instantly burst into a terrifying aura, and competed with Zhang Zhengzhong. Half a catty 8 tails. David looked at the two people in the ring and said something casually. Mr. Chen, then, is that Qifeng in danger? Lin Tianhu suddenly became nervous when he heard David say half a catty. David glanced at Lin Tianhu and smiled slightly, even if Qifeng is defeated, there will be no danger to his life, don't worry. Lin Tianhu's face flushed slightly, and then he looked nervously at the ring. At this moment, on the ring, Qifeng and Zhang Zhenzhong's auras are entangled together, and the faces of both of them are not very good looking. Qifeng, I didn't expect you to hide your strength. Zhang Zhengzhong narrowed his eyes slightly and said in surprise. Hey, there's more that you didn't expect. After Chifeng finished speaking, she saw her hands show, and then a white light flashed from her back, and that white light directly turned into a phoenix, hovering above Chifeng's head. Seeing this scene, whether it was Zhang Zhengzhong or everyone in the audience, their eyes widened and their faces were incredible. Fire Phoenix attack! Chifeng pushed with both hands, and the phoenix hovering above his head suddenly let out a phoenix cry, then fluttered his wings and flew towards Zhang Zhengzhong. Zhang Zheng was horrified in the center, and hurriedly drew his hands on his chest, and countless energy formed a barrier in the air. Bang! The phoenix slammed hard on the barrier, and saw cracks appear in the barrier in an instant, and then hit it again, and the barrier instantly shattered. Zhang Zhenzhong's body also fell heavily, and a mouthful of blood was sprayed on the ring. Master! Father! Everyone in the Zhang family exclaimed. And everyone in the audience looked at Chifeng in shock. They really didn't expect that Chifeng, a woman, actually hides such a powerful strength. Pretty! When Lin Tianhu saw that Chifeng had won, he couldn't help shouting out loud. Chifeng looked at Zhang Zhengzhong indifferently, and said with a look of disdain, Zhang Zhengzhong, you lost, your dream of being a leader is shattered. I don't lose, I can't lose. Zhang Zhengzhong got up, wiped the blood on the corner of his mouth, suddenly took out a green pill from his pocket, and swallowed it. Chifeng was stunned, wondering what Zhang Zhengzhong was eating. However, at this time, the aura on Zhang Zhenzhong's body began to soar rapidly, and the terrifying aura pressed Chifeng back suddenly. Chifeng hurriedly stimulated the inner strength in his body, desperately resisting the terrifying aura on Zhang Zhenzhong's body. However, the terrifying aura on Zhang Zhenzhong's body directly pressed Chifeng to one knee with the momentum of destroying the dry and pulling the rot, and his face became extremely ugly. This sudden change made everyone stunned. Lin Tianhu, who was originally happy, suddenly became nervous at this moment. David frowned, Chifeng, you are not his opponent, hurry up and step back. After Chifeng heard David's voice, he suddenly got up and quickly walked towards the edge of the ring. Humph, if you want to run, how can it be so easy? Zhang Zhengzhong snorted coldly, flew up, and kicked Chifeng's back fiercely. Chifeng's body was like a kite with a broken string, and flew directly out of the ring, spurting blood in the air. David frowned, his body jumped up, and directly caught Chifeng in mid-air, and then a spiritual power was injected into Chifeng's body. Chifeng! Lin Tianhu also rushed up, looking at Chifeng who was pale and his eyes were closed. Lin Tianhu's heart was instantly pulled together. Glancing fiercely at Zhang Zhengzhong in the ring, Lin Tianhu really wanted to avenge Chifeng, but he knew that with his strength, even the Zhang family's bodyguards might not be able to fight, let alone fight with Zhang Zhengzhong. At this time, Lin Tianhu secretly swore that he would practice hard so that he would be able to protect his beloved woman in the future. With the injection of spiritual power into Chifeng's body, Chifeng's complexion slowly improved, and his eyes slowly opened. Mr. Chen, I. When Chifeng saw David, his face was full of embarrassment. She swore that she could defeat Zhang Zhengzhong, but now she has been defeated by others. Don't talk for now, keep your vitality. David stopped Chifeng from talking, then looked at Lin Tianhu and said, Lin Tianhu, take care of Chifeng. Lin Tianhu nodded, picked up Chifeng and walked back to his seat. Holding the woman he had a crush on, Lin Tianhu's body was trembling slightly. Although Chifeng was seriously injured, he could also feel Lin Tianhu's heart beating rapidly. Who else? Who else? Zhang Zhengzhong on the ring glanced at everyone contemptuously. From today onwards, I am the leader of the Martial Arts Alliance. If anyone dares to refuse, I will let him die. Zhang Zhengzhong has been arrogant to the extreme, but no one dared to refute it. Even Sun Yaobang and Chifeng were defeated by Zhang Zhengzhong, and the others had no idea of resisting. And I. David spoke slowly, the whole person floated up, and then fell steadily on the ring. David, the matter between you and my Zhang family, I will settle accounts with you in the future. Today is the matter of our martial arts alliance. You are not a member of the alliance and have no right to go to the ring. Zhang Zhengzhong wanted to establish a leader of the alliance today, not to seek revenge for David, so he didn't want David to ruin his good deeds. I killed your daughter and killed your daughter's family. Now I am in front of you, but you dare not take action. Are you cowardly? David narrowed his eyes slightly, revealing a sneer. Hearing David's words, everyone took a deep breath. The strength that Zhang Zhengzhong showed, he even dared to take the initiative to provoke him. Everyone felt that David was crazy. At a young age, even if he has the ability, can he still be stronger than the master of inner strength? Even if you practice from the mother's womb, it is not bad to be able to reach the strength of an internal force warrior. Sonia under the stage clenched her fists nervously and looked helplessly at David on the stage. If David was in danger, there would be no one to save him. David, you are courting death. Zhang Zhengzhong was suddenly furious. On such an occasion, he blatantly provokes him. This is a challenge to His Majesty. If he doesn't kill David today, how can he stand up in the martial arts alliance? Dad, kill this guy, why use you, I will avenge my sister's family. Zhang Wenjie jumped up and fell directly in front of Zhang Zhengzhong, looking at David with killing intent. Zhang Zhengzhong put away the momentum on his body and said to Zhang Wenjie, pay attention to yourself, this kid's strength is not low. Don't worry, I want him to die today. Zhang Wenjie gritted his teeth and stared at David, wishing he could tear him apart. Zhang Zhengzhong jumped to the stage, and he watched. Even if Zhang Wenjie couldn't kill David, there would be no danger. Let your father go out, you can't. David stretched out a finger and waved towards Zhang Wenjie, full of provocation. Is it all right, just try to know. Zhang Wenjie shouted angrily and came towards David with a whoosh. Zhang Wenjie's fist was wrapped in internal energy, and ripples were aroused in the air, and a layer of light mist rose up in Zhang Wenjie's body. I didn't expect that the boys of the Zhang family were already so powerful. Inner strength is complete, this is about to reach the strength of master inner strength. It seems that in the future, the Zhang family will really dominate the provincial capital. Seeing Zhang Wenjie's strength, everyone in the audience couldn't help but exclaim. David smiled coldly, and with a slight flash, he escaped Zhang Wenjie's blow. Zhang Wenjie was stunned for a moment, then turned around and threw a punch again. David's feet slid slightly to the side, and there were more pasts. Boy, you have the ability to fight me hard, are you still a man? Seeing David's body being so flexible, Zhang Wenjie said angrily. Okay. David did not move, facing Zhang Wenjie's blow, not dodging. Is this kid stupid? With such a hard blow, I am afraid that with 1,000 jins, a cow can be easily killed. Don't talk about cows, just one punch from the Zhang family can penetrate the cement wall. I think this David is scared and stupid. Everyone was talking about it. At this time, there was only one person watching quietly, and that was Wu Liuyi. Although Wu Liuyi's strength was not the highest, his eagle eyes could definitely see through everything. Whether it is Zhang Zhengzhong or Chifeng's hidden strength, Wu Liuyi can see through it at a glance, which is why Wu Liuyi has always played the role of a peacemaker, and no one can be offended. Don't look at Zhang Wenjie's fierce momentum, but he is not David's opponent at all. David's strength is so strong that even he can't see it through. In the arena, Zhang Wenjie saw that David was motionless and directly resisted his own punch, and his heart was suddenly overjoyed, and the strength in his hand increased again. But just after Zhang Wenjie's fist reached David, I saw David stretch out his hand and grab Zhang Wenjie's fist directly. Zhang Wenjie was shocked, and felt that his hand was like being clamped by iron clamps, and he couldn't move at all. Everyone in the audience was also shocked. I didn't expect Zhang Wenjie's fierce punch to be caught by David like this. Wenjie, be careful. Zhang Zhengzhong seemed to see something was wrong, and after a loud roar, the whole person jumped up. Click! Suddenly there was a crisp sound, and Zhang Wenji's hand was directly crushed by David. What? Zhang Wenji's face instantly turned pale, and he screamed mournfully. Immediately afterwards, Zhang Wenji felt that from David's body, a surging energy was coming towards his body, and that energy was scurrying all over his body. Clap clap clap! Suddenly, with a few explosions, Zhang Wenji's clothes shattered directly, and flew out in all directions, and Zhang Wenji's joints seemed to be suddenly hit by bullets, and a puff of blood burst out. As soon as David let go, Zhang Wenji's body fell down with a bang, blood dripping all over the floor. What? Zhang Wenji was lying on the ground, the severe pain made him look hideous. Son! Zhang Zhengzhong hurriedly ran to Zhang Wenji, holding Zhang Wenji's body, his face full of grief and anger. Dad, I hurt. Zhang Wenji's breath was weak, and every time he said a word, he would spit out a mouthful of blood. Don't talk, I'll save you right away. Zhang Zhengzhong hurriedly transferred his inner strength to Zhang Wenji's body, but no matter how hard Zhang Zhengzhong tried, in the end Zhang Wenji's eyes were still closed, and there was no sound. Son! Son! Zhang Zhengzhong shouted hard, but Zhang Wenji could no longer hear it. This time, everyone was stunned, but they didn't expect David to kill Zhang Wenji. If you dare to kill my son, I will smash your corpse into 10,000 pieces and punish your 9 clans. Zhang Zhengzhong looked at David, and his aura exploded instantly. I've already said that, in the ring, life and death are a matter of life. Could it be that the family of Sun Yaobang, who was just abolished by you, will also seek revenge from you? David sneered. I don't care about other people, I just want you to die. Zhang Zhengzhong stared at David, and the terrifying aura instantly enveloped David. The entire arena was shrouded in Zhang Zhenzhong's terrifying aura, and there were faint signs of leakage. Everyone close to the ring began to feel the pressure, and looked at Zhang Zhengzhong on the ring in shock. To be able to let his breath leak out of the arena, this Zhang Zhenzhong's strength may have reached a terrifying height. Looking at the scene in front of them, Qi Feng and Lin Tianhe both began to worry about David. David looked at Zhang Zhengzhong with a bit of disdain in his face under the shroud of terror at this time. If you have any skills, just use it. I killed your son and daughter, and I will send you to reunite with them. David said lightly. When David mentioned his children again, Zhang Zhengzhong was instantly irritated and shouted angrily, Kid to die. Zhang Zhengzhong swung a punch at David. Zhang Zhengzhong, whose strength has doubled after eating the burst pill, is like the water of the Yangtze River at this time, and his inner strength is inexhaustible. The huge fist is wrapped in inner strength, flashing golden light. Ka-ka-ka. With a few slight sounds, the invisible barrier above the arena seemed to be broken, and the endless strong wind swept away towards everyone below the stage. Those who were close to the ring suddenly felt the pressure of Mount Tai. Each of them had difficulty breathing, their faces became extremely ugly, and they hurriedly retreated into the distance. This is too scary. Although Lin Tianhe had confidence in David, when he saw the momentum that Zhang Zhengzhong exuded, his heart began to shake. Fuhu fist. Zhang Zhenzhong's fist directly sent ripples into the air, and the invisible energy instantly turned into a ferocious tiger, opening its bloody mouth. Roar! A tiger roar sounded, and the tiger rushed towards David. The bloody mouth can swallow David personally. David! Sonia screamed in fright. Qi Feng and Lin Tianhe also clenched their fists, their nervous foreheads full of sweat. This David is afraid that he can't escape this blow. Aren't you scared to see that kid? Standing still. You can be considered a genius at such a young age, but he provokes the Zhang family. It's over, it's over. Seeing the strength that Zhang Zhengzhong showed, everyone couldn't help shaking their heads secretly, feeling sorry for David.